Okay, so I'm kind of bringing you in halfway through this. Welcome to What's Broken. My friend had his 2001 Jeep Cherokee Classic XY broke into, and somebody tried to steal it. And they ended up pretty much destroying they broke this into three pieces where the ignition switch goes in. So I was able to wire it back together and coated it a couple of times with some epoxy metal weld. So I'm hoping that barrel, it seems to work. Everything's nice and smooth inside there. The other issue we ran into was they cut through or broke this part of the immobilizer ring array. Now, trying to find a part anywhere in North America to fit this didn't seem very promising. What I was able to do was I found a couple of these immobilizers out of slightly newer Liberties. Same clips, and they all looked same plug-in. They looked relatively the same. But in speaking to an electronics engineer in town here in Calgary, he pointed out that the newer ones had different components inside. However, he came up with a brilliant idea to use this part of the case from a newer one and resolder the old circuit board to the wire array. He tested everything out. Figures it'll work. It all worked good on the bench test. So I'm just in the process of putting this back together, and and we'll see if it starts. Making sure that this immobilizer ring works and whatnot. So I'll bring you back once I put a few of these components in place, and we'll see how it's going. Okay, so the ignition assembly popped back in. Everything seems to be functioning properly. I won't be able to fit the ring back around because of the epoxy, but I am going to wrap this with some black tape of some sort. It won't be as pretty as it once was, but hopefully it'll be functional. Okay, so the black hockey tape wasn't working, or friction tape, so I used good old electrical tape. Now I'm going to try to fit get the immobilizer plugged in and get it centered around the ignition. Okay, the immobilizer ring's in place. It's plugged in, centered around the ignition, although it is missing that spacer ring. That was broken into multiple pieces when they tried to steal it. Incidentally, this immobilizer ring probably is what prevented it from being stolen. Anyhow, why we didn't change this whole assembly that was broken is trying to do it without breaking the bank. You know, it's a 20-year-old vehicle, still runs good. However, if this doesn't work, then that may need to be replaced. But at this point, we're trying to keep it frugal. All right. So I apologize for not having the camera on, but I can't really hold the camera and work the tools. Anyway, I just finished putting on the little plastic shrouds. And that's what the ignition looks like without the little spacer ring. Perhaps I'll be able to find something that'll fit in there down the road. Time will tell. Basically, I want to see if this thing will start at this point. So I'm going to finish putting the steering wheel on, get the airbag in, etc., and then I'll hook the battery up and we'll see if this thing starts. Alrighty. Well, here's the moment of truth. Well, the immobilizer light went out. And it's running. Oh, that's excellent. Okay, now we'll finish putting the door covers back on from fixing the locks. And I'll install the cover down underneath the column. Okay, I didn't show this one, but the door is all together. So we'll go around to the other side and put the other door on. I'll try to capture that. Okay, sorry about the truck running in the background. We got to charge the battery. Let me try this differently. This might be a little shaky. Pushing the clips back in. And fit the door locks. Back in place. So I ran a strip of tech tape or tuck tape because the adhesive was gone from the inner liner. That'll maybe cut down on some of the wind noise driving down the highway. Okay, now to fit it back together. All the clips are in place. We got 4 screws. Or excuse me, 5 screws. One there. One on the door handle. And 3 along the middle. Now we'll test the functionality of all the buttons. Okay, one more test. And the light goes out. Fires up. Window works. That. And the rear driver works. Just close the back door here.